Hi everyone, for this solo session I have a piece to play for you by Elena Kats-Chernin. Elena is a dear friend of mine. We've known each other for many years, and she has decided to write her piece about the issue of distance, and everything that encompasses distance during this whole COVID crisis. And she's called her piece As If From a Distance.
Hi, Elena. How are you?
Amy, how are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, good. It's so lovely to see you again. And you're in Sydney at the moment?
Yes, I am. I'm at home. I have been at home since 15th of March. That's a long time.
And you weren't due to be at home at the moment, though, were you?
I had quite a few different trips, but most important one was the opera in Kassel in Germany, called Wind in the Willows, that was supposed to have premiere this weekend. So I would have been here in Europe, where you are, since middle of May. So that now I have kind of a bonus time at home, which is surprise, but also quite nourishing creatively.
And you've been writing a piece pretty much every day during the lockdown, which is extraordinary. How has that been?
Well, I have all sorts of different projects on the go, looking at old pieces, reorchestrating or orchestrating new ones. But at the same time, at some point in March, maybe second week after kind of getting it to terms, coming to terms with the fact I'm not going to go anywhere, I then thought, what would it be? Something I remember this phase by, this time, this critical time for everyone. How do I make it known? How do I make it noticeable to myself? What can I show for it? For all this extra time that I didn't think I would have. And that was not just touring or being away, having projects. There were also things like rehearsals in Sydney, meetings with people. There were things like lunches and dinners, that I'm no longer having. So I was no longer disrupted. And that sort of uninterrupted time, which sometimes, you have an uninterrupted week, and then it'll be interrupted by 2 days of travel. But in this case, I knew for the next few months, I will not be interrupted by anything. So I'll just can do anything. I can stretch any project longer. I can take it slower. So I sort of decided at one point, I just felt like writing piano pieces. That's how it started. Little piano pieces. And I started sending them, recording them on my iPhone and sending them to my friends and family. And then it became kind of an obligation to write one a day and send one out. And then after a while, I decided that's probably too often, so some pieces took 3 days, sometimes 4, and some pieces I did not like, so I didn't send them to anyone. But they're still there. They're still part of the collection. So it's like a collection. I call it Isolation Suite.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. Wow. Well, we started to kind of work on this piece, not so long ago, and actually it developed so quickly. It was extraordinary, and we kind of went back and forth, and because of our time difference, it was I sent you a recording while you were asleep, and you sent me a new score while I was asleep, and it was extraordinary. And you've decided to show how it reflects the issue of distance. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Well, the word distance has become a very overused word in the last few months. Keeping your social distance, physical distance, and it also has become a distance between people who cannot see each other. Yeah. For example, you, Amy, are in London, I am in Sydney, we have a whole ocean between us. So there's this distance between us, and it's me sending you or writing you a piece is like sending it from a distance. It's like you're hearing it from a distance. It's like listening to something from a distance. And then I also thought about distances between notes that we write, the little intervals, big intervals, small intervals, distances between in time, how often something is, between bars, between phrases. And I suddenly thought, what does it mean to do something from a long distance away, or even short distance? Distance as a word interested me. So I named the piece As If From a Distance. So somehow what grabbed me is the idea that the notes are like little things, just little gems, little sparkles. They're just little drops, drops of, and that is not droplets, because droplets is a bad word right now. So we don't want to mention that word. But just little things that then kind of grow into little waltz. Because waltz is for me, one of the most intimate genres. And I don't mean the grand waltz, I mean the little waltz, the kind of the charming waltzes that you dance to, you can actually dance. And I also wanted to give you on your instrument some harmony. I wanted to create harmony with yourself. So hence and that's a kind of a thing that I love doing, is writing triads to play on a single instrument. I've done that before in some pieces like Eliza Aria, where everything is just sung as a triad here and there. And it's the same kind of thinking here, our strategy, I don't know. But I often compose at this piano here behind me, which you can't see, but it's right here. I write at the piano, and so I try things on the piano, and I improvise a lot. And so it just sort of grew. And also it made me really happy to write finally a piece for you. We've been talking about writing a piece for you, concerto or something, for so long, and this has given me a chance to write kind of a taster. It was a really lovely thing. It just came at the right time, your email, and I thought, wow, what a great idea to involve composers to do something useful. Because one of the things I thought in the first 2 weeks, I felt suddenly really useless. I felt, oh, right now, no one needs me. I'm irrelevant. And when I come out of this, who am I? Because all I know is how to write music. I really know nothing else. And I suddenly thought, in this stage of my life, it's quite suddenly really depressing that I know nothing else. And I felt a little bit sort of anxious, a little bit for a few days.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long, but
I felt that too.
And I think it's a collective feeling of anxiety in the arts anyway right now, because it's a dangerous time, and we don't know how it will come back. How will it all come back? What will happen? It's still such an unknown. Everything is unknown. In a way, composers are more lucky because we can just create at home. I mean, those who have already commissions going, and not everyone, of course, is in the same boat. I'm lucky that I've got pieces to write, but even if I didn't, as I said, I'm creating my own project. I'm creating my own collection of pieces, which will then, of course, flood into the world. So this was a very happy occasion for me to write for you, and the piece just flew. I usually imagine a person play. I imagined you play it. I actually had your image in my head, and I thought I want the piece to start from nothing and come back to nothing. Mm-hmm. Sort of like almost like a whisper, and then not that it's a whispery notes. I didn't write whispery notes. I actually didn't write any extended techniques. It's a very simple. I wanted to write a simple, straightforward piece in a way, but it in itself it has some jumps and things. So it's not simple to play. I think it's not quite as simple as that. And I really enjoyed how we were doing the workshopping between us every single day. I was looking forward to the recording because it kept growing. I thought, this note actually should be long note, not short note. It's just small things. And it's as often with pieces with me or with other composers, I don't know. I love to refine. And at first, there's quite a lot of changes. Whole chunks get changed, whole phrases get added. And then slowly, it's only like an accent there. crescendo here, a little subito piano there, and maybe a long note here. So, and in the end, it's just like fermata there. You know, that's kind of it. So it's less and less and less. So from this much, it gets like a tiny. Suddenly, you have very little to change. I mean, there's. And I thought, oh, and poor Emmy, she's getting all these new changes, and it's it must be annoying. I don't know, but you were very, very.
It's a privileged position for me to be in. But
thank you.
okay. Well, thank you so much for telling us everything about it. And oh gosh, it's a gorgeous piece. And yeah.
Thank you.
It's a privilege.
I can't wait for yeah, I love how you play it. I just I love. So thank you so much for playing it.
And I hope to see you soon.
I hope to see you soon and hear this piece played live by you. You know, in real world. You know.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Lots of love. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye. Bye.